Hey, so I want to teach you how to love yourself more, how to find more peace, and increase your confidence and self-esteem. Hi, my name is Luis Congdon, former shy guy, low self-esteem person. I didn't even date somebody until I was 24 years old because my self-love, self-compassion, and self-esteem was so low. And even at one point, close to my 30s, I ended up sleeping on my friend's couch, didn't have a job, had no money, and even slept in a park a few times. Ever since doing these practices to increase my self-love, I've gone from sleeping on my friend's couch and being completely broke, not even being able to afford food, and going to running a six-figure business, running a podcast that runs 5 times a week and brings on the world's most famous people you can imagine. Not only that, I co-own and co-run a six-figure business that allows me and my partner to travel the world, create digital products, wake up when we want to, and do the work that we love. So I know this stuff works, and I know it's gonna work for you. Okay, so this first tip on loving yourself, it's gonna sound kind of weird. It might even sound so simple, because in today's society, we're used to the idea that things have to be complex and things have to be difficult, but they don't have to be. All right, so here's the tip for you. Start looking yourself in the mirror. I'm looking at myself in the camera right now and imagining there's a mirror right there. And this is what you're gonna do, is you're just gonna look at yourself and stare right into the mirror and just say, I love you. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. Now, I know this feels kind of silly and maybe even uncomfortable, but let me tell you, there was a study done not too long ago. I can't even remember the research and where it was done, but I know that they took somebody that was extremely depressed. The person said that they were depressed even when they were sleeping. And when they started saying things like, I love you, and smiling in front of the mirror, even this person that said that they were depressed when they were sleeping reported that they just couldn't feel depressed anymore. So start practicing this. To give you one more thing too, is that your brain is just a bunch of neurons and they're all interconnected, right? So there's these all neurons just all interconnected. And when you're practicing certain thoughts, all you're doing is connecting certain neurons. And so when you start saying things like, I love you, I'm proud of you, what you're doing is you're changing the neurons and the connections so that they move. It really literally happens. You can watch this great film called What the Bleep Do We Know? And it talks about it way more in depth than I do. It'll give you a great visual, show you some research behind it. By simply saying, I love you, you're changing the conversation that's happening in your head. If you're feeling depressed or you're feeling unsuccessful, in a lot of ways, those feelings aren't because you're not doing enough in the world or you're not successful. It's because of the conversation that you're having in your own head. So start practicing this. I love you. I appreciate you. Self-love in a lot of ways is practice. Increasing confidence is practice. Increasing self-esteem is practice. When I talk to people through the Thriving Launch podcast, where we've brought on people like Marianne Williamson, Ryan Stewman, Robert Kiyosaki, I could go down the list of very famous people, Kyle Cease, who was in some of the very well-known films like 10 Things I Hate About You. And when I talk to all these people, I notice that the way that they talk to themselves, and not only that, their ability to be grateful is higher than many other people's. So if you want to increase self-love, start spending time practicing gratitude. Practice gratitude. Start saying things in your own mind. Close your eyes if you need to, and think about people that you love. For me, I like to think about my dog. He makes me happy. I like to think about my partner, Kamala. She's added so much value to my life. It fills me up. Right now, she's actually watching me do this video, and she's supporting me through this process. So when I think about her, I feel very grateful. She's given me more strength than a lot of other people in the world. And because of that, I feel grateful. Or I think about my dad. We could go down the list. And as I do this, I notice that even my body and my sense of gratitude and being happy to be here with you right now shifts. So start practicing gratitude. All right, so another thing that will increase self-love and increase self-compassion is practicing seeing things as already done. Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote a fantastic book. It's called The Power of Intention. And one of the things that he talks about in that book, and if you look up Dr. Wayne Dyer, you'll find the guy is very successful. And one of the things that he talks about is visualizing your goals. Spend time seeing your goals, but not just that. Visualize them already done. And when you visualize those goals and you see them already done, think about what it feels like. What does it feel like to have that extra 2, 3, 5, 10 grand in your bank account? What does it feel like to be in love? What does it feel like to be speaking on stage and feeling wonderful and confident? What does it feel like? What does the world look like when you love yourself? And just spend some time being in the space and it's already done. Be willing to be inspired. If you want to have more self-love, and self-love for me really translates as inspiration, right? And if you want more of that, you need to be around it more. So one of the ways that I got inspired when I was feeling really down is I started to listen to the work of Abraham Hicks. I'd wake up every morning and I would listen to their work, and I just absolutely loved it. Another thing that I would do is I'd watch movies that made me happy. I'd watch movies that gave me the feelings that I wanted to have more of in my life. And by practicing these feelings and seeking out inspiration, I found that my life shifted. I found that my self-love shifted. Even talking about this to you changes me a little bit. So you could do something like listening to the Thriving Launch podcast. You could go to the Thriving Launch website, but you could also read a lot of self-help books. You could watch movies that inspire you. Do things that inspire you. Another thing that's really shifted my life and allowed me to love myself more is volunteering. By volunteering and helping people that don't have as much as I do, I find that I feel a lot more grateful. I don't know about you, but when I'm around somebody that doesn't have as much as I do and maybe is really, really needy, and I'm able to offer and give to them, I find that I become happier. I find that I feel better. There's a great movie about this guy that I really admire and appreciate. His name is Tookie, and he's one of the guys that started the Crip Gang. And in that film, one of the things he says is that we don't do good things to score points with God. We do them because they make us feel good. And I highly recommend that you volunteer. And as you do that and you give of yourself, you'll find that you feel better and you're contributing to the world. Self-love isn't just a feeling. It's something that we have in our bodies. There's actual chemicals in our bodies that are changing how we feel. One of those is oxytocin. We also have adrenaline, endorphins. We have all sorts of chemicals in our body that shift how we feel. So one of the things that I recommend is start getting exercise. By getting 20 or 30 minutes of exercise on a regular basis, you're increasing endorphins, you're raising the oxytocin levels in your brain, and all these different things increase your happiness. I don't know about you, but I know that if I run in place or if I get on the treadmill and I'm exercising and moving, my feelings have to change. I've heard somebody one time say that where the body goes, the mind goes. And so if I move my body around, my mental thoughts also have to shift. And that will change and create tremendous value for you in your self-love process. So, I told you that at one point I was really struggling with being happy and I was having a hard time in my life finding joy. And I told you that some of the things that I did was, new activities and volunteering and offering value to people that had less than me and spending time meditating and gratitude stuff. But one of the other things too, and my partner Kamala is somebody that really helped me with this, is change the foods that you eat, because a lot of foods will impact your moods. So at one point I liked eating McDonald's a lot and I liked eating a lot of fast food. And I don't know about you, but when I eat heavy foods and things like that that are very difficult to digest, it slows me down. It makes me sluggish. It doesn't make me feel very good. And so one of the things that Kamala really, she demanded it, and I'm really thankful that she did it, is she said, you got to start eating organic, and we got to start eating more vegetables, and we got to start taking in more salads and more fruits and more water. That's a really big one for me too, is drinking a lot of water. So start changing some of the foods that you're eating, and you'll notice that your moods do shift. Okay, so this next tip I absolutely love. For some of the men out there, it's going to feel a little bit weird, but if you're looking up something like self-love, I'm sure you're going to feel okay with this one. Start giving people hugs. One of my friends and one of the most well-known researchers on oxytocin, Dr. Paul J. Zak, who we interviewed for the Thriving Launch podcast, one of the things that he found in his research is that hugs increase the oxytocin levels in your brain. Very quickly, oxytocin is the chemical that makes you bond and also increases happiness. So if you're giving people hugs, your happiness will increase. Not only that, Dr. Paul J. Zak also found that 8 hugs a day increases and meets the need of oxytocin increase for men and increases the longevity in their lives. So for men, it's really important that we get more hugs, but even women, They need a little less hugs than men do. But if you're going out there and you're hugging people, you are actually releasing chemicals in your brain that make you happy. Okay, so we've covered a lot of steps around self-love, and this is one of the longer videos that I've done, and it's because I really believe that self-love will become the center of happiness, and it will completely change everything in your life. I know it did for me. It took me from being broke, homeless, without a girlfriend, and not knowing what to do in my life that I loved, and it shifted everything. And I really wanted to go into stuff in depth with you. I've got more tips and tools and tricks to help you increase that self-love. So head on over to thrivinglaunch.com in the link below, and I've got some bonuses for you, and I've got some treats for you that will help you increase your confidence and your self-love. So I'll see you over there at thrivinglaunch.com.